Coming up live on LiveWire, we've got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking for somebody from the Women's Veterans Alliance, and then also we're going to talk to somebody from the Quilters Association. If you've never seen and understood quilts, quilts are very, very important, symbolic family item, and you'll learn more about that. And then we're going to talk to a gentleman who's part of Dublin 1916 Easter Rising, which is a play that's going to play at California Stage, and it's about the fight for independence for Ireland. So stay tuned for LiveWire right after this. LiveWire. I'm Ray Tatter, and with me in the studio is Melissa Washington, and you are the founder, actually, right?
I am the founder of Women Veterans Alliance.
Yeah, and it's a very interesting. You wonder because men. There's national veterans associations going back 4 or 5 wars, and you wonder why women didn't have their own collective organization. And tell me, you're walking down the street and you said, I'm going to found a Women's Veterans Association.
Well, I wanted, there's nothing like this really here in Sacramento, and I wanted a place for women to come and network with each other, and just have that camaraderie. And I started this group last January at El Torito's, and it was a bunch of us. It was just supposed to be a community group, and now we've grown to the largest women veterans networking group on the West Coast.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. So what are some of the issues, women's veterans face?
Absolutely. So one of the bigger issues is women do not self-identify as veterans. And a lot of people are like, what do you mean by that? So if you ask a woman, are you a veteran? She may more likely say no. But if you asked her, have you served in the military? She would probably more say yes.
Oh, yes.
And the reason is a lot of women do not identify as veteran, that word. So with that, and why is that? A lot of it because they may have never been into combat. They may have never served outside the U.S., or they may have only did 2, 3, 4 years of their enlistment, or somebody told them that they weren't a veteran.
Oh, that's sad. However, we do use as a people the word veterans and past military as a synonymous thing.
Absolutely, it is synonymous.
Yeah.
But the thing is, too, is for a woman not to self-identify for those reasons, the big thing is she's leaving benefits on the table.
Oh, right.
So whether that's your medical benefits, education benefits, home loan benefits, your burial benefits, there are so many benefits that are there for us veterans.
Yes, that's true, and well deserved too. But I just find it amazing that some people would say no, and not even think about it. Why would they pass it by? Because it was a choice they made to join and to put themselves in harm's way, or want to do that, or allow to be that to happen, and maybe it didn't happen, and so they feel guilty.
Yeah, I mean, there's of course there's different reasons, or it could have been a traumatic experience that happened in the military. They might also be suffering post-traumatic stress disorder, which people hear the acronym PTSD.
Oh, yes.
Another one is military sexual trauma, which is MST.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things that have happened, and a lot of women may not want to utilize the VA for benefits because what people hear and experience at the VA. So these are things we're trying to change. We want to really help and empower women that have served our country.
Yes, and I think I think everybody else would probably go, yes, that's right.
Absolutely. And it's just, and also too, not even, we talk about the self-identification, but we're also underserved in the community and we're unrecognized. So most people, when you think of military, you think of men. Us as a veteran population, men and women, we're 1% of the population. And then of course, then you take that percentage of how many women are out there that have served in the military. There's a lot of us out there.
That's right.
Believe it or not, there are a lot of us out there.
So how do you change such an image?
getting on shows like
Oh,
this.
TV. Wow, I never thought of that.
Absolutely. So it's, it's getting out in the community. I'm sharing with others about women. And then also too, where can women get services? So we started the Women Veterans One Stop. It's available the fourth Thursday of every month. It's over at the Women's Business Center. And it's an opportunity for women to connect with people and resources where they can get help with their resume, starting a business, legal help, financial help, mental health, VA benefits, and we have a really nice clothing closet. And we also have workshops each month. And actually also too, next week we're bringing in a stylist who's actually an Air Force veteran to come in to help women, find the appropriate clothing for their body type as well.
Wow. That whole idea of helping people with their personal body image and all of that, especially people who have gone through some of those debilitating depressions of, having served or not served, and all of that guilt and rolling anger is odd, and we as a people need to address that with greater and greater sensitivity.
Oh, most definitely, most definitely.
So we talked about in the early part before the show, we were talking about some kind of physical image makeover or something part of your program, which I loved.
Absolutely. So last year, as I started this community, in a sense, a community group, which has grown beyond that, a lot of people had asked me, well, what do women veterans look like? And they really look like me, and they look like her and her, because the way the media depicts us is a lot different because they want to depict us in a certain way. So I partnered with a local photography company, James Morrison Photography, and he put together, there they are.
Whoa.
Those are women that have served in the military, believe it or not.
Wow.
Right? You look at these women.
Wait, they're smiling.
They are smiling. They're different ages, different ethnicities. They've served in different branches. They're enlisted. They're officers. They work for the city. They work for the state. They go to school. They're moms. They're sisters. They're daughters. It's just fantastic. And these are 10 women, and it's not even really photos. I mean, these are portraits. I mean, the way James and Mara Morrison, really took the time to get to know these women.
So you're going to exhibit these at some time?
Yes, we are. We are going to be exhibiting these at our California Women Veterans Unconference, which takes place April 15th through the 17th. Over at the Lionsgate Hotel.
What kind of conference?
It's the Unconference.
Unconference.
The Unconference.
I see. Okay.
So it's the 15th through the 17th, and that portrait, it's going to be a multimedia portrait. It's going to be on display that Friday night at our Roaring Twenties Mix and Mingle.
Oh, I see. Roaring Twenties Mix and Mingle.
Yes.
Okay. I like the fact that you're drawing people together in that kind of more relaxed approach. I like the unconference idea too. And so that we have this portrait exhibit at that event, right?
Yes, that's the Friday night, and then Saturday is when the unconference takes place with with speakers, breakout sessions. We're having a fully integrated health and wellness center. We want to decrease the amount of medication that women are on. Just veterans in general. It's very well known that they get pushed a lot of medication. We want to help decrease that medication, look at different modalities that could help women get through, the stress, the PTSD, also too, healthy living as well.
Oh, yeah.
And also too, at that conference, we're having the first ever Women Veterans Town Hall. Figure we've got all these women in one place. Let's talk about the issues, and let's not even just talk about it. Let's start to talk about how we can implement change, because we have to empower each other as women veterans. And we're going to announce the California Women Veterans Leadership Council there that day. It's going to be an awesome weekend.
I think it's a pretty, an important moment.
Oh, it is. It is. This is the largest outreach to women veterans here in California, and we want more women to come, whether you're active duty, reserve, guard, served in the military, and we've also opened up to military spouses and caregivers as well, because a lot of information that's going to be shared.
Reaching into their families too.
Absolutely, because it's not just to the veteran, the military member, it's also their spouses. And I'm also, in addition to being a veteran, I'm also a military spouse as well, so I understand what it's like to be a spouse.
Okay, it's very funny. One of the plays that is being done at California Stage, one of this theater company, is really about military spouses. It's about a young woman who gets into a military family and really didn't consider the relationships and how they work, which is quite different, you must say.
Oh, absolutely. Very different. Very different.
So it'll be really interesting to see this play. It's also an opera, so I'm very excited about it.
Oh, good.
So it's fascinating that what was the moment that you said to yourself, I have to form this organization of women veterans?
I just, there are women that I know out there that had served in the military. And I'm very much a networker. I'm a connector. I like to be out there in the community, and I just wanted, just for us to really get together and start to form those connections. And then it just took off. And we now have 3 chapters. We have a Sacramento chapter, Yolo Solano, and a Chico chapter. And we're out there expanding.
Well, I wish you well with the
Thank
women
you.
veterans and your association in this upcoming event.
I appreciate that.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we got to take a short pause. Wah, and we'll be back with our next guest right after this important message.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up?
Oh, we finally bought a place.
Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Was it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
It's called the Sisters Quilting, extravaganza?
Oh, Sisters Quilting Collective.
Collective. And I was introduced to what quilts mean. You could go down to, Target and get something called a quilt. But these are quite different. These actually have their roots in family. Isn't that right, Faye?
Yes. The Quilt Show that's going to be this weekend, they're beautiful quilts. They're handmade by our members and community members locally and in the region throughout Northern California. And they're made with love. That's the difference between when you go to the store and buy a quilt and then you come to our Quilt Show on Saturday, March 19th and 20th. The quilts are made with lots of love.
Jerry Benning.
Yes.
You have some quilts in your hand there. Tell me about those. Well, that looks like...
Well, this looks like Christmas, right? And it was trees, but this was a technique called paper piecing. And so that makes it reversible. So you can see the front and the back. So, and this is, all the pieces are cut out, these were stitched by machine. So this is all quilted.
Quilted and machined. Is that a special machine that you need for quilting?
For this, just a regular sewing machine.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's...
Okay, and the big guy there?
The big guy was done by my mother, and this one is hand quilted.
Wow.
Those are stitches
Each one of those
inside.
stitches?
Done by hand,
through.
right, yes. So this is, I got it upside down. She has she called it the plum tree.
The plum tree.
I can see
The
it.
plum tree, right. So, yeah, all of these little rows of stitches, that's all hand stitching. I don't know if you can see
Now, women
that.
used to get together and they'd do a quilting circle.
Quilting circle,
bee.
quilting bee.
Quilting bee, and that so that they would have their pieces, the pre-prepared, and they would bring them to a meeting. And it would be a meeting of women they'd sit around and they put these things together.
Right.
Actually, what on the cart you see here, what we call our Opportunity Quilt, that's how a lot of opportunity quilts are made. Each one of these blocks was created by a different person, and then it's put together to make a larger quilt.
I see.
So it's the new version of the quilting bee or the quilting circle.
I see. The older ones, the ones we're not talking, as they moved in time from 1880 to now, let's say, they moved from being something that was made with leftover clothing. It was a kind of an interesting artistic recycling system.
Correct.
You know?
Right. Yes. And people are actually beginning to do that again. Where in the past, like you said, in the 1800s, people actually created and made quilts to keep their families and themselves warm, because it was very cold, and they didn't have at that time the type of heating and technology that we have now to keep us warm. Yeah. But the quilts at our quilt show will be
more towards art.
But we also will have some traditional quilts. Jerry and the committee really did a call out, so there's going to be both there.
So when is all this going to happen?
This is going to happen Saturday.
Oh, this coming Saturday?
This coming Saturday, March 19th.
Wow, get a pencil quick.
From 10 to 5. And then if you can't make it this Saturday, you can come back on Sunday.
Oh, look there. March 19th and 20th, the Sunday, Oak Park Community Center.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's wonderful.
Beautiful Sacramento. It's the Sisters Quilting Collective.
Right.
Okay, and you've got a blog spot there. Easy to, if you just Google the word Sisters Quilting Collective, it'll probably come up, right?
And that's how some people locate us and find us that way. Yes.
I love language.
Okay.
So it's fascinating. So during the year, how do you interact? What do you do? You have regular meetings?
The second Thursday every month we have a meeting, and it's from 5:30 to 7:30 at the Oak Park Community Center. Ladies come, share usually we have somebody give us an idea or show us how to do a quilt or a block. And then the next week or the next month, then we'll bring the block back because we've tried to make it. So, and then
that's an F. No, that's an A+.
Then, the ladies will, all the ones that they've made, will have a drawing, and one person will get those blocks. And then they can make a quilt.
Yes. And that quilt will be in the quilt show.
Right, and that's the round robin quilt that they're doing. Yes. No, that's not the round robin. That was a different one.
The block of the month.
That's the block of the month.
Block of the month.
Right.
So this is really all kind of participatory and wonderful and good, and I'm sure there's food involved there somewhere.
Oh,
there will be food there, yes.
Couldn't be a meeting without food.
Yeah. And then the top part of this are what you're wearing. These, we're talking about wearable art now. That's almost aside from the quilts, except say that some of the same techniques come into bear.
Right. True. Yeah. So.
Wow. It's going to be fascinating. So like you said, there's going to be wearable art. There will be people with jackets, created jackets, designed jackets, vests, purses, things for the home. It's going to be a fiber arts quilt show.
Fiber arts too. We forgot about fiber arts, things that are just can hang and look good. Oh, there you go. What's this?
Oh, so that's a picture of Kanika, who's a mixed media artist. So she's a sculptress, but that's a quilt that she created for one of our quilt shows. So that's really nice. Yeah. And then, of course, you probably recognize us. That's a picture of the founding members, Barbara, myself, Barbara Lord, Jan, and then Freedy. So,
outrageous.
Yeah.
Wearing all kind of art on themselves.
Now, that particular quilt, that's Evelyn, she's a member. That is made of silk. The background, the white part is silk with the beautiful picture of the African woman in the middle. That is done with a combination of hand and sewing machine.
I'm gonna love the bird.
Yeah. We have lots of members who either create dolls or collect dolls. So we're gonna have a doll display, and so that's a picture of our different dolls.
I like it.
Yes, isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, it sure is.
And then these are two of our youngest community members that came out and celebrated with us. In between them is two pieces of artwork that's using the quilting technique, but it's more artsy and everything. So
I see it.
Yeah.
I see it. It's good.
That's
and
beautiful.
Those young people did those?
No, it was actually done by an adult, but they were really fascinated by that. So they wanted their picture taken with that piece of art.
Amazing.
They were real clear. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Faye Wilson Kennedy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Benning, for talking to us.
Oh, you're very welcome.
We wish you both well at this wonderful event that's coming up on March 19th and 20th. at the Oak Park Community Center.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay.
Okay, well, we have to jump to a short break right now, and then hopefully we'll be back with a representative of California Stage Theater Company right after this.
Okay.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Hey, you going out like that?
Yeah, why?
Well, what would the neighbors think?
I see you. Come look at Mr. Feather. Look what I have. Mr. Bird, remember? Bark, bark, bark. We're just playing. We're just playing on trying to get you out of here.
Even still.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Okay, we're back with LiveWire, and with me in the studio is Mr. James Anderson, who is an actor in town, a director, and he's here representing California Stage Theater Company, who are producing a...
Would you like
play?
to talk about it?
Yes, would you?
It's called Easter Rising 2016, and the reason is because this is the 100th anniversary of the beginning of the Irish Revolution, the one that led to their eventual establishment as an independent country.
Wow.
It started in Dublin in 2016.
No,
and
1916. That's 100 years ago.
1916, thank
2016
you.
is now.
Just correct
You
me
mean
as
they're
hear.
fighting right now?
I'm doing my best. Yeah. So anyway, it's at California Stage this coming weekend. So that starts on Friday night, which is the day after St. Patrick's Day. That'll make it the 18th at 8 p.m. And then there are two performances on Saturday. There's one at 2 p.m. and one at 8 p.m. And then finally on Sunday at 2 p.m. And it's just this weekend, and that it's just because it is Easter's coming up.
And it's is a play about like what happened?
I think it's a really interesting play because it's adapted from a book that's 50 years old that actually did a lot of archival study of, real information. It's almost like Stud Terkel's working. It takes the voices of actual people from that time, and it's a panorama of the different attitudes. You have everything from the revolutionaries, Connolly, Pierce, the leaders, and also the 14-year-olds, 16-year-olds who were fighting with them. And also you've got the English on the other side, and represented, by the attitudes of a force that's suddenly facing a revolution. And in between, the attitudes of people who are just everyday Dubliners. Oh, I see some up there on the screen right now. Everyday Dubliners of the day who have a real variety of attitudes about what's going on, as when any revolution starts.
Right.
People are on this whole spectrum. And it wasn't until later that the Irish really became galvanized around the revolution. And mainly because some of the people represented in this play, like Pierce and Connolly, were then, and particularly Connolly were then I want to say assassinated, but that's not the word. They
Shot
were
dead.
shot dead, but a shooting squad, you know.
Yeah.
What do you call that?
They
Executed. They were executed, thank you. They were executed by the British, and that led to, that plus other events led to the galvanizing of the Irish people to rise up.
That's right. And
so this is a key moment in the history of that revolution.
so what character do you play?
Characters.
Oh, characters.
I have 3 characters that I play, as do most of the people in the staged reading that we're doing.
Reader's Theater?
Reader's Theater, thank you, that's the word, Reader's Theater. It was a very interesting form in itself. It's like a full production, costumes and everything. So the first guy is a kind of working class guy who's just kind of in on the action of the moment, you know, he's caught up in the action of the moment. And the second guy is more of a middle class guy, seemingly, who is really much more objective and is checking out what's going on in different locations. He seems to be neither opposed or particularly a partisan in the revolution. And the third one is a person who lost his son and he was killed in the street by British soldiers with an overdose of zeal, shall we say.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's the whole thing that happens in wars, don't you think? You know, that, we think about Callie. You remember Lieutenant Callie?
Oh, yeah, sure, right. Now I remember.
You think about that character, you know, he sees his buddies get shot, you know, and children come with guns and fire them and kill your buddies. You look at children and women differently, and they did. In fact, they dehumanized them and killed them.
Yeah.
And this is that kind of character. Could you read us a little bit from
Sure,
the
I'll
play?
read you a little bit from the kind of middle class guy.
Okay.
So he says, so I took a tram. I got off at the post office, where there was a small crowd gathered outside. On the steps were 3 Sinn Féiners, armed with rifles. I thought I would get in and look around. The 3 fellows did not stop me, so I got through the swing doors. But a fellow inside pulled me up. Who are you? He asked. And I tried to look innocent and said I had come to get some stamps. But he said, get out of here now, and gave me a push and ran me out at the front of a revolver. That man was very like Conley, but I wouldn't swear to it.
Wow, that's really good. We got to go.
Oh,
California stage.
Everybody should come.
Okay.
Everybody should come.
There it is.
It's a great show.
Thank you. We got to say goodbye. See you next week on a beautiful Wednesday at 5 p.m. 5 Fingers, 5 p.m. Access Sacramento. Thanks, Jim.